Hey everybody, it's John from Godsong Farms. I'm down here in the chicken yard. This video was shot over several days. I'm basically making these videos for me. I don't know if you'll find any of this interesting or not. If you enjoy them, that's even better. Anyways, roll the intro. Okay, I'll give you a quick run through the greenhouse this morning. I've got some Beefmaster and Super Sweet and German Queen tomato suckers that have look like they've rooted fairly good. Some of them look like they died. The Mr. Stripies, I don't think I have any of those that have survived. We'll give it a couple more days and see. Sun's Cantaloupe's still doing okay down there. Tomatoes getting blooms on them. The radishes seem to be doing okay. The pepper has a few blooms on it. Carrots are doing all right. Got more tomatoes with blooms on them. See if you can get those blooms there. See, several of them. Things that I've started from seed. I got a couple banana pepper plants in one cell that have come up. I put out some Fort Hook zucchini the other day, and I've got a couple more plants in that 6-pack that look like they're going to come up. We'll give them time and see. On my tomatoes so far, I've had a few Brandywine come up, Dr. Witch's yellow tomato, yellow pear. That's about it. I don't really see anything else that seems to have come up. I've got several Kajari melon that have started to come up. Got some cabbages that have come up. I've got a few Black Beauty eggplants that have come up. I've got some more tomato suckers over here. I don't know if they'll make it or not. I got some flashy butter gem lettuce that's come up. A little bit of Rocky Top salad blend that started to come up. Down here, I've got a whole row of okra there that seems to be coming up all right. Some Clemson spineless, emerald okra, go big okra. The red burgundy hasn't been doing anything yet. Got some early prolific squash coming up, some early crookneck squash, some white scallop back there. I planted a bunch of squash the other day and zucchinis. I've got some Marketmore cucumber coming up, early Russian, burpee pickler, straight 8, some Arkansas pickler, some slicer cucumber, some sweet Genovese basil, some lettuce leaf basil, some dark purple basil, a couple of sprigs of dill coming up. That's about all as far as seeds go out here to the greenhouse. My eggplant and pepper over here are doing okay. The turnips seem to be doing okay in the pot. Out here I took the tiller through the garden in between the rows, and then Mom and I came out and hoed and healed up some of the brassicas. Plus I put a little bit of fertilizer side dressing on them. I planted the kale that I had started from seed in between the kale plants that I bought. We'll see how they do. Kale doesn't take a lot of space, and I had purposely spaced that kale out, and so I could plant these little plants in between them and see how they do. Out beyond my collards, which some of those have already started going to seed and I just planted them, but just beyond them I have a long row of squash, and then the next row has cucumbers at the end of it, and then it goes into squash and zucchinis. Then I have another row of cucumbers a little farther down. This morning I have those two totes hooked to a hose that I have running along the fence line over here. Okay, I didn't get back to shooting any video yesterday after my original tour of the greenhouse video. So let me update you. I bought a bunch of okra plants and we planted a row of okra. It's not the straightest row in the world, but it's straight enough. Quite a bit of okra planted. Planted a few more cucumbers in that next row. I just straightened this row up a little bit on the end. We planted some peppers and tires yesterday. Then I've got a row of watermelons planted with a Kajari melon on the end. I forgot, those last three plants in that row of okra are not okra. The last three plants are hills of cantaloupe. This is watermelon and Kajari melon. And then next row over, I have 4 more hills of watermelon. And then we planted 5 more tires of tomatoes. These tomatoes are chocolate sprinkles, and these 4 are yellow boy, and these 4 are Parks Whopper. And I added a few more hills of cucumber in that row of cucumbers. I also got those 2 totes drained down yesterday. It's calling for rain today. It's not supposed to move in until this afternoon. So I might try to get a little bit done before the rain comes in. I don't know, I'm pretty sore from yesterday. I'm gonna go up and check on my chickens and see if Catherine did everything she was supposed to do this morning. Mom had mentioned that she wanted to come down here and pick kale and spinach today. Well, I've already picked the kale. As you can see, I picked the kale back pretty good. Even picked it back out in the garden over there. Getting ready to pick spinach. This is what spinach looks like right now, and I'll show you what it looks like after we get done picking. We got a full plastic bag, grocery bag of kale from what I picked of kale, and it was packed in there pretty tight. We just finished picking the spinach. That's what it looks like after we got done. So a little over a week ago, I guess, I moved these chickens, these little chicks, into this side of the chicken coop out of their brooder box. They were in this box. I now have a new batch of chicks in there. I have 8 red sex-link and 8 Easter eggers. The Easter eggers lay blue to green colored eggs. Red sex-links will lay large brown eggs. This will be the first Easter eggers I've had. They're the chicks with the black on them. The ones that are kind of goldish colored yellow, those are the red sex-link. They're kind of hiding over on that side because I was making noise over on the other side because this brooder is now emptied and been cleaned out some. And the chicks that were in it, I have now moved into this side of the chicken coop. And right now, they're all huddled up. There's 24 of them in here. There's a group of them over there, and a group huddled in this corner. And they're just kind of scared and getting used to where they're at. I'm back in the greenhouse. Of course, this is a whole nother day from the last time I was in the greenhouse. I wanted to show you, in my greenhouse I have a toolbox. In that toolbox I have quick disconnects for hoses, extra washers for hoses, repair kits for hoses, extra latches. I have a few tools in the toolbox, some pruning shears and things, some more repair kits. I also have tools on the shelf in here. It beats having to go run up to the building every time I need a tool. Of course, I have my gardening tools in here. Show you those suckers that I transplanted the other day. I've now got some early girls that I transplanted. Suckers seem to be doing good. A German Queen tomato, a couple of them, they seem to be doing good. These others back here, these Mr. Stripies that I thought were going to die, they seem to be picking up, so they might do all right. I got some Laroma 3s that seem to be doing okay. And some German Queens that I thought were going to die seem to be picking up, so they might do all right. Quick look at the tomatoes, almost to the top of the greenhouse from their table. I'm probably going to have to take these off the table before too long. Put something else up there, because these are going to be too tall. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because the supports they have right now are mounted into the table, so that might be a little difficult. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Those radishes I have over here, these are a French breakfast radish is what it's called, and I picked 4 of them yesterday. Mom, Dad, and I each had 1, while I had 2, because I'm just greedy. But they were really good. I'm gonna let these grow a little bit more. These are Scarlet Globe. They've got a while to go before they're ready to pick. Seeds are coming along good. Plant starts. We've had a little bit of rain this morning. Not much. Can't really tell it on the ground too much. The garden still looks to be doing okay though. All the plants seem to be doing all right. Back inside the greenhouse. Parts of some things that came out of the brooders, the waterers and feeders. Billy was down here cleaning on. I'll do a little more on them. And that way they'll be ready when I have more chicks to put in the brooders. If I decide to have more. It's about time for me to empty my drain bucket again. Eventually I'm going to run this drain outside. I've got the pipe to do it, I just haven't gotten around to it. I mentioned in an earlier video that some of these collards had already started going to seed. I went through and broke the seed pods out, the tops out of them, just to see what they do. I've never tried it. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I don't think they're going to make anything at all. Probably all the collards on the end of this row, I'll probably end up having to just discard them. I probably won't get any leaves off of them. These down here, I might get some leaves off of them if they will produce. So far they're not doing much. This ground is not the best ground in the world. It is right below the chicken yard though, and so it catches some nutrients off the chicken yard. And I've added compost to it a couple of times now. That part of the garden over there seems to do better. Because this is a hill, it's hard to tell on this video, but because this is a hill, what I did was I raised up the lower portion down here where you can see the tires. That's all raised up anywhere from a foot to 2 foot above the ground on the other side of the tires. And then I pulled dirt from the hill uphill, downhill. So all the topsoil that was up here got pulled down this way into the garden, trying to level this spot out to make a better garden out of it. Of course, it could also be the temperature that we're still right at that point where we're still getting upper 30s for lows. Celery seems to be doing all right. I took out one of the Butter Crunch lettuce today. It was there. Took it up. That's some more celery. The spinach and kale that we picked the other day. And I picked some of this red sales lettuce, which I've got plenty of it here. And some of this other leaf lettuce. Right now we've got a bunch in the house, and if you live close by and want some, give me a shout. You can come by and I'll load you up with some lettuce. I've got plenty right now. In the greenhouse, the 2 tomato plants that were on this table, I've now got down on the floor of the greenhouse because they were getting so tall. They were almost to the ceiling of the greenhouse up on the table. I put a couple of the smaller tomatoes up here, and maybe they'll get a little more sunlight and it'll help them grow. I moved the other tomatoes down a little bit, then moved my pepper and my eggplant over, and the turnips. quick glide across the plants we've got up here. Let you see. I'm not going to go through everything individually or take a lot of time. The Mr. Stripies that I said I'd give a few more days to, they're starting to come around. I think they may live. Now the German Queens, they're not looking as bad, some of them, but we'll see. I got the chicken yard cleaned up, brought the weed eater in here, and weed eated this chicken yard. These chicks are starting to explore their new habitat. They're all going to run to the corner since I'm here. These chicks over here, just about ready to start spending some time outside. Next couple of days I'll probably be opening up their little coop door, letting them go out into the yard.